Hi, today is September 19th, 2025, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1454 for the year, Thin Building. While I was waiting for the train in Manheim, Germany last week, I saw what looked like the thinnest building I've ever seen. I wanted to go out and walk to the other side of it and see if there was anything there, because I wouldn't have been surprised if there wasn't anything on the other side of that building. I wondered what the point of it even was. I mean, it looked like an office building, but could you even get any offices in a building as thin as that one? Maybe really small or really thin offices. Of course, it could be an illusion, or perhaps the building is triangular shaped, and if I could have walked around it, I would have seen that part of it was less thin than the rest. But I'll bet even if it is triangular, it is still a very thin building. Poem number 1455, Almost Non-Existent. The building I saw in Manheim looked like a little sliver of cake or pie, and it was so very thin that if you were in a cafe and you ordered a slice of cake or pie and they brought out a slice as thin as this building, you'd be like, what the fuck, because it would be ridiculously thin. You might even send it back and say, I'm not paying €6 for a dessert that is barely even there, for something that is almost non-existent, and you'd be right to do it too. Although I wouldn't do it. I'd just eat the damn thing. I would be mortified if I found myself making waves over something of so little consequence. Especially if I was in, say, Germany, where the last thing I'd want would be to be identified as an ugly American. Ugly, maybe, but American? No, thank you. Poem number 1456, Wafer Thin. When I think of thin things, I will sometimes remember Mr. Creosote from Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. He goes into a restaurant and after considering the menu, he tells the waiter, I'll have the lot, meaning basically every entree in the restaurant. I think he has every dessert, too, but when the waiter brings out a single after-dinner mint, Mr. Creosote tells him to piss off. He couldn't have another bite. Finally, though, the waiter's insistence that the mint is wafer thin causes Mr. Creosote to relent. He eats the mint and explodes. Finally, though, after the waiter's insistence that the mint is wafer thin, Mr. Creosote relents, eats the mint, and explodes. It is a wonderful scene with a lesson for us all. When you've already had way too much, beware the wafer thin mint. Poem number 1457, Incandescence. I can't stop thinking about that guy whose head is a candle. I don't know how it is that no one has lit the wick and watched the head as it glows. How is it possible that so many people with access to his candle head could be so indifferent and so uninterested in incandescence? It almost makes me sad, but on the other hand, I'm glad that the guy whose head is a candle has so far managed to remain unmelted with his head intact. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1458, Retranscendence. I refuse to allow the effects of my trip to wear off. It's been several days since I was swept away by Pousette Dart's paintings. I can consult the catalog and look at, say, Byzantine Cathedral 1, 2, and 3, and then I can close my eyes and see myself standing before them again, and I can transcend again. I can transcend and retranscend again and again, and I will. I may spend weeks or months or years in retranscendence, or I may find that it isn't practical. Maybe I ought to try to only retranscend on the weekends. Well, tomorrow is Saturday. I wonder what I will do. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.